We're about 2 months away from teal season here in Texas. And if you're like me, you're fantasizing more and more every day about that sweet buzzing sound and the smell of gunpowder. You're also scrolling through every catalog and waterfowl sale online looking for some sweet new gear to help you reach those limits. So maybe you're looking for an extremely mobile blind with next to zero setup time that provides a great hide and is comfortable to sit in for hours. Kinda. More on that in a bit. Then let me introduce you, my friend, to the Momarsh Invisichair. Welcome to Rocky TV. I'm Rocky. I make hunting videos, fishing videos, outdoor videos, review videos here on YouTube. So if any of that interests you, do me a solid and subscribe, because we're all family here in the outdoors. Worst that happens is you get some cool new hunting videos in your YouTube feed and less of that gross everyday stuff. Listen, I didn't just pop this bad boy out of the box. My wife and I have hunted out of these blinds for many hours over these past few seasons so that I could give you my true and honest review of what it's like to use these blinds in the field. Coming in right around $300, the price tag is nothing to sneeze at. So my job is to give you all of the info I can before you buy it. I'm going to show you how to set them up, how they work, and then give you my list of pros and cons so that you can make a decision for yourself on whether or not this blind is right for you. All right, it's 10,000 trillion degrees out here, but that's my dedication to you to show you how quick and easy it is to set this thing up and tear it down. We've got it all brushed in because that's how you'd be using it in the field, right? It's all fine and dandy to show it without any brush, but this thing's about 6 pounds heavier with the brush on it. I think they weigh 24 pounds without and about 30 with. So you'll notice I have it in the sled. Reason being, number one, it packs up easy and it goes into the sled, but there's no like shoulder strap or anything with this bad boy, which is early con. I'll just give you a con. There's no shoulder strap or anything like that. So if you're carrying this bad boy around, you're pretty much walking around like this, which isn't a huge deal if you don't have, I mean, you know, 30 pounds is heavy, but it's not that heavy. But if you've got a decent trek in, then, you know, it may be a deal where you want to get a sled, or you can buy like adjustable shoulder straps that you can maybe wrap around this and put it on your back. You could get those from Amazon, but I don't like the fact that it doesn't have a strap. Anyways, we brought it out here in the jet sled. You can always jet sled it in or walk it in, drive it by side, whatever it is you do. But I'll show you how quick and easy it is to set this up real quick. So start off, they have a handy dandy strap around here that just keeps everything nice and tight whenever you fold it up. We'll undo that, and it's just quick and easy. You pull out the chair, which I always forget how to do. Just like this. We're gonna move all our brush. It's got two little bars that I'll show you here in a minute. Well, let me spin it around. It's got two little bars right here that you just click into place. No pins, nothing like that that you've got to mess with. We're gonna set it on up. And then you're not gonna really be able to see this real well either. Hopefully I'm even still in frame. Yeah. But there's a bar up top here. This is gonna be your release bar. It's also got just another little bar that you click in, like so. There's a part that you pull out that locks in over here. Let this out, and you're locked in. That quick and easy with this thing. I lied, that's not it. You also got these little bars in the top that you can take out if you wanted to. We normally just leave them in because it's easier that way. But I'll show those in a second too, so you can see kind of what I'm talking about. Gives you a little more head space there. But anyways, that bad boy's ready to go. All right, now that you're set up, you're ready to hunt, you can go about this two different ways. I'm not in bulked up duck hunting stuff, right? It's a little hard to just hop in here, especially with the brush on, because you end up sitting on it and stuff. But you can get in this way and be ready to go. Or there's the simpler way, where you just let it back. You grab your arm here, lock it in, and you're good to go. But you can see that fighting with the brush a little bit can be a thing. And maybe you can brush it up better than we did. But fighting with the brush can be a little bit of a thing. Wearing a hat's also tough, dude. I normally wear a beanie or I put it on backwards. But it can be a little bit of a thing when you're all bulked up. Now that a hurricane's blowing in, let's go ahead and talk about some of the mechanisms and features going on with this chair, okay? You can see a little bit closer up what I was talking about during setup. So first of all, I mean, we've all set up a chair like this, right? Just pulls out, locks in, you're good to go. But what I was talking about as far as the mechanisms on the back that work the release top, there's just two little bars right here. And these, you push them down, they're real simple. Pull them up when you're ready to let them go. But you push that down, that locks that top in. You've got one on the other side, same thing. And then with your release arm, same thing. No pins, nothing like that, which I love, because I'm not messing with pins in a cold morning. I'm not worried about losing them or anything like that, which happens all the time. So simple, easy, set the chair back up, lock this in, you're good to go. It also has the ability to, once it's up here, it also has the ability to adjust the height of the release of the top, I guess. And so usually what I do is I just let this out longer or shorter based on how I want it to be. But if you don't want to use this, there's an actual way to adjust your height. We've got two little knobs back here, right here and on the other side, that you can loosen up. And when you loosen these up, it'll allow you to either extend or retract that bar a little bit and change the height. So I usually like to have mine pretty maxed out. I just like the extra room, but you can set it to whatever height you want with these knobs and this release arm. There's also, you saw that we have the flip back action, which is one of the, I mean, obviously huge selling points of the chair. You've got these bungees right here that attach to the chair and then to the top itself. You can adjust the length of these bungees, and by doing so, you can have your flip back quicker or slower, however you want to do. It's just a matter of changing this knot and lengthening or shortening where this hook sits on the bungee itself. It's also got this storage pouch on the back side of the chair, so you can put your birds in it, you can put your snacks in it, you can put whatever you want in it. I can't remember the weirdest thing I put in here, but I'll put some stuff in here, okay? You've got a storage pouch on the side with a little drink holder, and then it's got shell loops here in the front. And I usually just shove all my shells in here, but you can put your snackies or whatever you want in that bad boy as well. And one of my favorite features, well, two of my favorite features on the chair, ignore these things, okay? We're gonna talk about those in a minute. These don't come standard, all right? This is that Rocky TV VIP special setup. I just kind of rigged it up because there was something I didn't like. We'll talk about it in a minute. But these legs are independently height adjustable. So we have used these chairs on some really uneven surfaces, some really steep inclines. And there's just a button here that you release that slides these in and out. So obviously if it gets mucky, it gets dirty, those stick a little bit, but we've never had an issue where we couldn't get it out or we couldn't retract it. We've had this in really deep mud, which is about to bring me to my next point, but we've had these in really deep mud to the point where you're yanking and yanking to try and get it up out of the ground, and these will extend a little bit, but I've never had one completely pull out, and I've never had one break, and that's over the course of 3 seasons now. It's happened multiple times. It's really well made, and these little releases really work well. So fully extended, this thing will sit up into 29 inches of water, and I don't really worry about that. Even being a bigger dude, you can jump in this bad boy. It's really sturdy, really well made. One of the things that is really important to me, and as I mentioned, each leg is individually adjustable. So if you've got a rise on this side, it's as easy as just pulling this in. Now you can set on some uneven terrain. If it's really slanted in the back, then you can keep the back, you can shorten the back legs like so on both sides, not one, so that there's shorter legs in the back and it kind of evens you out when you bring the top up. But the coup de grace for me, whatever that means, is these mud feet. If you've sat in a chair that doesn't have mud feet before, this is everything to you for sure, especially if you're a big boy like me, all right? These right here, you can sit in some really sticky places and not have to worry about your chair just getting extremely bogged down. Now we've had it get a little suction cupped in there before, but we've never had an issue of getting that back out. This keeps you from sinking. This makes it a lot easier to get your chair out of the mud, and these are just a lifesaver for me. I don't know that I'll ever have another hunting chair that doesn't have mud feet. Now, there's another hunting chair on the market that's made by Drake that I really like as well. And if you guys are interested in seeing a review on that video or a comparison, please let me know in the comments below. But that chair has some things that are a little bit better and some things that I don't like as much. But when I sit in those chairs, the one thing that I always miss is these dadgum mud feet. The other, I guess, big feature of this chair is obviously it's got a mesh seat. So if you're getting in and out of the water, that kind of stuff, it just lets the water drain through. It doesn't just collect in the chair. For breakdown, it's super simple. Just release this little bar right here that we talked about. Put that down, tuck that in, put it down. You're good to go there. Lift up these little bars like so. Pull the pin. This thing will get caught on stuff if you don't remember to put that bad boy back. And then we've got our little strap around, which does have a little pocket that you can put it in. You can roll it up and put it in this bad boy. We just didn't do that. This goes around, tie it up, lock it in, you're ready to go. Now, if you're gonna brush it in, I definitely recommend whenever it's open like this, before you break it down, take all your extra goobly gook here and tuck it into the back of your chair and fold it up that way. Makes it a lot easier. And on the bottom side here, you can also tuck all this in behind the chair so this doesn't drag, catch on stuff like that. Now let me give you a list of pros and cons and my final thoughts on the Momarsh Invisichair. Let's start with the pros. This chair is sturdy and durable, which is probably the most important thing to me because I'm a big boy and this thing has zero wobble to it. I know it's not going anywhere and the seat fits me really comfortably. And the best part is there's no annoying pins to fight with or to lose on those cold mornings. The second thing is that the adjustable legs are great for uneven terrain and deep water. With that, the mud feet are also a lifesaver. If you've ever sat in a chair in the mud that doesn't have mud feet, you know what I'm talking about, especially if you're a big boy. I'm not trying to sink to China. Keep me up here and not China. It actually works and hides you well. I've had ducks swimming close enough to me in this thing that I could have just grabbed them and choked them. Something like that. Not just once, but multiple times. This thing obviously hides well around vertical cover, trees, large bushes, tall fields. But I've slapped this bad boy right on the bank with very little cover before, and it didn't flare a single bird. It's got like a slim profile, so you're pretty much completely covered. So you have a lot more freedom with movement. There's no black hole like you have in an A-frame. I've been really impressed with how well this hides and how little it affects the birds. Now let's get to the cons. The first con was a pretty big deal. So big that I almost decided to stop using the chair, honestly. I'm not a tall guy, I'm right about 5'9", and when I sit in this thing, even at its shortest, my little feetsies dangle like a child in a high chair. My wife is 5'8", obviously same problem. If you're 5'10" or taller, maybe this isn't an issue with you, I don't know. But it got pretty uncomfortable with my legs dangling like that. So I rednecked it a little bit, and I picked up a pair of these. These are motorcycle foot pegs for cheap, and I got them on Amazon, put them right above the adjustable part of the leg. They fit fine, and now I have a place to rest my feet. Plus, just look how cool it looks. Second con, the visibility in these, especially in low light conditions, is a little bit tough. And looking at the sky through the mesh takes a little bit of getting used to. You definitely feel more visually constricted in these from time to time, but it's give and take. I think the mesh is a necessity in a blind like this, and from the outside, it really does a great job of concealing you. The majority of the time, the mesh isn't a huge deal. Like watching your spread 20, 30 yards in front of you is really not a problem at all. But at certain times and certain conditions, it's been a big enough inconvenience that it landed on the con list. The final con is that there's really not anywhere to put your gun. In an A-frame, you've got gun rests and ground blinds. There's little gun rests you can put in the ground that you can set your gun on. But in this, it's not wide enough to lay it across your armrest. You can't really set it down next to the chair. So you've got to kind of find a way to rest it across and hold it. I watched a video where they showed setting the gun in the space inside of the chair, but that's not really practical either. It's another con that's not a huge deal, but it's definitely a bit of an inconvenience inherent to the design. So that's what landed it on the con list. So what's my opinion on the Momarsh Invisichair? Is it worth the money? I believe so. It sets up in seconds. It's great in certain scenarios where a layout blind isn't really an option. Maybe the water's too deep for your panel blind, or you don't want to lug around your heavy A-frame blind. Adaptability is everything in duck hunting, and it provides just that. It does well on shorelines or tucked into cover. If you're looking for a well-made mobile blind that can sit in up to 29 inches of water, or you can plop it on a shore and not have to worry about flaring birds, then the Momarsh Invisichair may be for you. So that's my review on the Momarsh Invisichair. Let me know what you think. Do you have one? Are you looking at getting one? I happen to really like it, and I'd be interested to know your thoughts if you end up getting one after this video. Also, are there any other products, duck hunting related, fishing related, hunting related in general, that you'd like to see a review on? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to know it, and we'll see you on the next one.